Welcome back. If you have not watched part 1, go watch it first. Because what I am about to tell you will only make sense if you know where we started. When we left off, I had just discovered the truth. My brother Daniel had spent over a year secretly manipulating my father, filling his head with lies about me, turning him against me slowly, quietly, while I was busy caring for our dying mother. And it had worked. My father had changed his will, and Daniel had walked away with everything. But Daniel had made one critical mistake. He forgot about the notebooks. My father kept a journal his entire life. Every important conversation, every decision, every doubt, written in his careful handwriting in small green notebooks stored in boxes in the attic. And those boxes had been left to me, not because my father intended them as a weapon, but because Daniel never even knew they existed. I spent 3 days going through every single notebook, and what I found was devastating. My father had written about Daniel's visits, about the things Daniel had told him, about the doubts Daniel had planted. But here is what Daniel did not count on. My father was not a fool. He had written his doubts too. Sentences like, "Daniel says Sarah only stayed for the money, but I am not sure I believe that. Daniel visited again today. He seems very interested in the will. I feel like Daniel is pushing me towards something. I do not know what to think." My father had sensed something was wrong. He just had not acted on it in time. I took the notebooks to a lawyer. Not just any lawyer. An inheritance dispute specialist. She read through everything carefully. And when she looked up, she said, "This is called undue influence. And this is a strong case." Undue influence is when someone manipulates a vulnerable person into changing their legal decisions. And my father's own words in his own handwriting proved exactly that. The legal process was not easy. It took months. Daniel hired his own lawyer. He denied everything. He told the court I was jealous and bitter. He told the court my father had made a free and informed decision. He was confident. He thought he had already won. But then my lawyer presented the notebooks. Page after page after page. My father's own words. His doubts. His confusion. His sense that something was not right. I watched Daniel's face as each page was read aloud. And for the first time in my life, I watched my brother realize he had lost. The judge ruled in my favor. The will was overturned. The house returned to both of us equally. The business split fairly. The savings divided as my father had originally intended years before Daniel's manipulation. Daniel was ordered to pay legal costs. He had to sell his car to cover them. I stood outside the courthouse and I felt something I had not felt in years. Peace. Not happiness exactly. Not celebration. Just peace. Because it was not about the money. It was never about the money. It was about the truth. My father had loved me. Daniel had tried to erase that. And in the end, my father's own words had saved me. I want to say one more thing before I go. If you are going through something like this, if someone in your family is manipulating a situation against you, document everything. Save every message, every email, every conversation you can. Because the truth always leaves a trail. And that trail will always find its way back to the light. Thank you for watching both parts of my story. If this helped you, or if you know someone going through something similar, share this video with them. Subscribe for more real stories every single week. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is know that you are not alone. See you next time. Take care of yourself.